parents of Reddit, what is the weirdest thing you caught your children doing? My 5 years old nephew went to feed the chickens yesterday. I told him to get a hat. He came back fully naked with gumboots and a straw hat on. Apparently the last time he went to the chicken house they pecked at his junk. And he wants to show them that it's not big enough to eat yet. Kids are weird. If chickens pecked at my junk, I'd put many more layers on it instead of exposing it. It's all about asserting dominance. Found my kid talking to the hole in the sink when he was 2. Turns out that's where he said God lives. Carry on. Yeah, weirdo. X's eldest hoarded cardboard tubes. If asked, they were simply for later. The youngest adopted and formed a strong emotional bond with a garlic for about a week. Did you hear a voice responding back from the sink with "Hi Georgie"? Beep beep. Richie. Packing turds into cardboard tubes with toilet paper and hiding them under the sink. She called them poop bombs. There was like 10 of them under there. Did she have specific plans for them? Like selected targets? Or just making a stockpile for what if situations? She didn't have any kind of explanation to offer. She was only like 5 years old. I kind of think once she got started, she was more focused on improving her craftsmanship and building up her numbers than asking the big questions like, why am I doing this? I woke up to my 5-year-old spraying Windex on the window beside my bed, cleaning it thoroughly, then nodding at me and moving on to cleaning the windows in the next room. I still don't know what the hell was happening. Edit. She told me before bed that it needed cleaned so her cat could look out. The bottom of the windows get smeared because the cats push their faces against it, so she wanted it cleaned for them. He was cleaning the windows. Obviously. Better than licking them. Caught my 2-year-old son licking the floor. He seemed really into it. My 2-year-old licks our cars. The moose licked my car for the salt from the road. You might want to salt your child. My brother decided he wanted a pee hat, which is literally what it sounds like. A hat he could pee in during the night. While already a stupid idea, since he didn't empty it. He chose a plastic hat with hole in it. Edit. It was a toy construction hat with 2/4 holes in the top, meaning his makeshift toilet had 2/4 holes for the pee to leak from, and he was keeping it in his toy box. When I was younger, I decided that it would be so cool if I didn't have a separate room to do my business. So, being the genius that I was, I designated a towel in the corner of my room as my pee towel. This was in my room for easily an entire week. Needless to say, it smelled disgusting. At one point, my mom came in and questioned the smell and I shrugged it off saying it was probably the dog and left it at that. What baffles me the most, however, is that even when I was in a part of the house that was closer to the bathroom, I would go out of my way to use my pee towel. I think my parents still have the towel. Edit. I totally wasn't expecting all these responses. Thank you all so much for your stories. It makes me feel so much better to hear that I'm not alone lol. Also, thank you so much to whoever gave me the award. You're amazing 3. Hoop Knife DLC. When my daughter was little, old ladies would come over and enthusiastically ask her simple questions, like what's your name? And she would always reply in flat monotone birthday cake. Then they'd ask another question like, oh, well, how old are you? And she'd say birthday cake. They would look over at us with great concern. So annoying. I went through a phase where, if the house phone rang I would race to it, answer it and shout, hello, this is Lollipop. Then I started to tell anyone on the street or in a store that my name was Lollipop. My mom got so tired of explaining to strangers that no, my birth name was not actually Lollipop lol. Is there a reason or just because ya could? When my brother-in-law was 3 he was so obsessed with the toilet plunger they had to buy him his own so he'd stop grabbing the used one. It was his best friend. Once my cousin took her preschooler to our version of the dollar store and let her pick something for everyone in the family for a Christmas present. She bought my uncle / her grandfather a plunger. He spent most of that Christmas with it stuck to his bald head. Has a good sort. I really like the idea of a kid picking out presents for relatives from a dollar store. Gets them as invested in the gift giving part of the holiday as they are in the gift getting. My mom caught me bringing eggs from the kitchen into my room and sitting on them in a blanket nest, hoping they'd hatch. What she didn't catch was that I had been doing this for a while and would put the eggs back into the fridge when they wouldn't hatch after a few days. I did this too. I also used to put them in socks and leave them under my bed for a while because I thought that would hatch them. I would check on them every day for progress, and when nothing happened, back to the fridge they went. My youngest daughter was about 18 months old. She had, about a week before, discovered how to climb out of her own crib. Also, about a month before, she had once taken off her own diaper. Not a repeat event, but a one-time thing. My mill was visiting us, and we were all slow to wake up. Around 7:30, the baby monitor alerted me that my daughter was awake, but happy and content in her crib. I let my wife sleep in, and I grabbed a quick 5-minute shower before going to grab her. When I got there, she had put the two pieces, climb out of crib and take off diaper, together, and use them to repaint her room. I will never recover from the trauma of the smell. My little brother did nearly the same thing when he was about 4. He was already past the crib, but skipped nap time to repaint as well. My dad told us he came home to my mom crying while cleaning it and saying she didn't get a college degree to clean poop off the walls. Edit. I realized the part about my mom might come off as rude. She was just upset her potty trained kid who knew better had done that. Now, normal reaction from your mom, who won't cry after seeing poopy walls knowing it's your duty to clean it up. We caught my sons, maybe 6 and 3 at the time, both sitting on the toilet together, one behind the other, pooping. They told us it was a double poop. We forbid them from ever doing that again. Is it weird that my brother and I also did that when we were young? Multiple times. Not for fun. But if one of us needed to go really badly and the other was using the toilet, why did I go into detail? Help. My two little sisters 8 and 5 at the time, now 32 and 29 respectively, would poop together. Backs and butts against each other, each on one side of the toilet. I don't think anyone tried to stop them cause they just wanted to do everything together back then. Lol. Let's see. My daughter was drinking strawberry milk and then spitting it back into the cup so she could drink it again. I had hosed off a tarp and it was drying on the patio. We went outside and she just stooped down and took a drink out of the puddle on the tarp. Just today I was in the garage and she came out, instantly grabbed a toothbrush I used to clean car parts and stuck it in her mouth. I don't even know anymore. She's going to have a killer immune system or tetanus. One of those for sure. The amount of weird shit I did as a small kid, I swear. I'm 15 and almost never get sick. Just have really bad headaches and migraines most days, and hearing problems, and other unrelated problems I'm going through at the moment. Apparently, as a baby, I wouldn't ever crawl forwards. All I would do is crawl backwards. But my immune system is stronger than anyone that I know, along with my stomach. Give me any kind of food, or show me any image. It'll make no difference. I won't throw up or get an upset stomach unless I get food poisoning from it, which has happened 3 times. Only now am I realizing how weird the stuff that happened to me and the stuff I did as a baby was. That's what you get when your parents make drugs in the garage, I guess. When my son was about 3 years old, he liked to wash his eyebrows with my facial cleanser. Just the eyebrows. Wet. Lather. Rinse. Repeat. He said it made them nice and soft. As the son mentioned in this comment, I can confirm that my eyebrows were indeed super soft. Whoa. We thought couples on Reddit was interesting, but parent and children? How strange. I saw my kid, who was 4, in the backyard looking for bugs or worms. He grabbed something and put it in his mouth. I asked him about a few minutes later. He said he ate a worm. I laughed and asked why. He said he wanted to know what it tasted like. So I asked what did it taste like. He said it tasted like mud. The next day I asked him if he really ate a worm. He replied yeah, in the most defeated and embarrassed way any human could. Yeah live. Yeah learn A. I kept finding dead worms in kids' pockets while doing laundry. Then I noticed that while I had him help me in the garden, he would pick the worms up, kiss them, and put them in his pocket. He told me he does this because he loves them. I convinced them that the worms are happier in the ground. He has started putting them back on the ground after kissing them. I used to try and keep pet worms and my parents would find them in the laundry as well. Well, that and acorns. I collected lots of acorns. Not a parent, but when I was a kid I used to prefer to poop in the park closest to my house instead of at home. I used to wonder who cleaned up my poop every day because the poop was always gone by the next day. After months of doing this, I found out a neighbor mom was the one who kept cleaning up my poop. I was mid-poop one sunny afternoon when I saw her walking towards the park from her condo across the road with a baggie, probably because she had a chore every day that included going to the park to clean up my poop before her children could go play. I was squatted atop the playground in one of those wooden cubicles at the top of a slide, peering out through a crack between the wooden pillars, watching the neighbor mom coming closer, trying to finish my poop at a rapid pace. I finished my poop, didn't wipe, because I was a disgusting child pooping in a park, yanked my pants up, and flew my poopy ass down the slide, and booked it through the field to home base, raced through the door, and continued to live my best life until there was a knock on the door. My mom answered the door, and to my horror there was neighbor lady, and she and my mom had a long talk, and outside on the front step, when my mom came in she looked at me with pure disgust, and said no more pooping at the park. My older brother's friends were over and overheard my mom scream that at me. They demanded to know the whole story. Then when I started kindergarten, one of the children at the poop picker-up a neighbor mom was in a grade ahead of me and recognized me and told everyone what I had done. I was and always will be the park pooper. Edit. I did not have a very good childhood. I should definitely clarify that. I have no explanation other than I was probably neglected. I'm shocked at how this blew up. Thought I was just telling my poop story. Thanks guys. How did your mom not realize you were coming home with shit on your behind every day? I'm not a parent, but my niece was very upset that her older sister wouldn't turn the TV over when I was babysitting once. After about 10 minutes she pretended to be interested in the washing machine that was on at the time and sat in front of it and watched it like a TV for an hour and 20 minutes. Her older sister watched the rest of her film, but obviously wasn't enjoying it. She was outraged that her little sister was having a great time watching wet clothes spin round and round. It's the most creative act of revenge I've ever seen. My nephew is 3 years older than my daughter. She followed him everywhere. When he was about 4, nearly 5, he sat in front of the wood stove to watch it. She copied him, and he got up smiling and went to the table. She sat there still looking at the wood stove. He used that trick a few more times. I caught my twins in first grade measuring each other's penises with a tape measure they got to measure their heads in first grade for bike helmets. I walk in after their baths and one is on his back with his legs the air. Of course my husband said, "That's not something you do until high school." I didn't have a twin, but none of us subs did that together. Cousins yes, brothers no. That would be weird. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.